After the age of 70, something begins to happen inside your body that most people never see, never feel clearly, and almost no one talks about. Your gut bacteria, the trillions of microscopic organisms that quietly control your digestion, your immunity, even your brain, don't just weaken. In many people, they collapse. And when they do, the effects don't stay in your gut. They spread to your joints, to your energy levels, to your blood sugar, even to your memory. Now here's the part that should concern you most. This doesn't feel dramatic. It shows up slowly, a little more fatigue, more bloating, stiffness that lingers, moments of brain fog you brush off as just aging. But what if it's not just aging? What if there's a deeper biological shift happening? One that's quietly increasing inflammation throughout your entire body. Because that's exactly what modern research is beginning to show. Your gut is not just a digestive organ, it's an ecosystem, an internal world of bacteria that regulates how your body responds to food, stress, toxins, even infection. And like any ecosystem, it depends on balance. But after 70, that balance becomes fragile. Beneficial bacteria begin to decline, especially those that produce short-chain fatty acids. These are powerful compounds that act like calming signals for your immune system. Without them, inflammation quietly rises. Not enough to make you feel sick, but enough to slowly affect everything. Your metabolism, your muscles, your brain. And here's where it gets more serious. At the same time these protective bacteria decline, more aggressive inflammatory bacteria begin to grow. So now you have fewer calming signals and more inflammatory triggers. This is what scientists often call inflammaging, chronic low-grade inflammation that develops over time. But the most overlooked change is what happens to your gut lining. Your intestinal wall is supposed to act like a filter, letting nutrients in and keeping harmful substances out. But with age and imbalance, that barrier weakens. Tiny gaps begin to form, and through those gaps, toxins, bacterial fragments, and undigested particles begin to leak into your bloodstream. Your immune system reacts. Now instead of calm, controlled function, your body is in a constant low-level state of defense. And this is where everything connects. Because that internal inflammation spreads. It affects your joints, causing stiffness and pain. It interferes with insulin, making blood sugar harder to control. It slows muscle recovery and even affects your brain. Because your gut and brain are directly connected. In fact, much of your body's serotonin, your feel-good chemical, is produced in the gut. So when your gut shifts, your mood, your clarity, even your memory can begin to change. Now let me ask you something. Have you noticed that maintaining energy feels harder than it used to? That your body doesn't respond the same way, even when you try to eat better? There's a reason for that, and it often starts in the gut. But here's what most people get wrong. They think the solution is simple. Take probiotics, eat yogurt, fix the problem. But your gut doesn't work that way. Because if the environment inside your gut isn't right, those bacteria don't stay. They pass through. Temporary visitors, not permanent residents. So the real question becomes, what actually rebuilds the gut after 70? Not temporarily, but in a way that restores balance, reduces inflammation, and supports your body long term. And the answer is simpler and more powerful than most people realize. But before we rebuild, we need to understand what's quietly damaging your gut every day. Because many people are trying to fix their gut while unknowingly making it worse. One of the biggest problems? Low-fiber diets. This doesn't sound dangerous, but inside your body, it is. Because fiber is not just for digestion, it is fuel for your gut bacteria. Without it, they begin to die off, and some even start feeding on your gut lining itself, weakening your natural defenses. Then come ultra-processed foods, sugary snacks, packaged items, refined oils. These don't just affect your weight, they reshape your microbiome, promoting harmful bacteria, reducing diversity, increasing inflammation. And here's the key. It's not one meal, it's the pattern. Day after day, small exposures build up. Now combine that with excess sugar, and you create the perfect environment for imbalance. More harmful microbes, fewer protective ones, and the cycle continues. But here's the hopeful part. This system can be rebuilt, not overnight, but faster than most people expect, if done correctly. And the key is not doing everything at once. It's rebuilding intelligently. Step 1. Start with fiber, but go slowly, because your gut needs time to adapt. Simple foods like oats, apples, lentils. Introduce them gently. Increase gradually. You're not just eating differently, you're retraining your microbiome. Step 2. Hydration. Fiber without water doesn't work properly. But with water, it becomes easier to process, easier to ferment, and more beneficial. Step 3. Consistency. Your gut responds to patterns, not occasional effort. Small daily habits, done consistently, that's what creates change. Now, once this foundation is in place, you can add fermented foods, yogurt, kefir, traditional pickles. These introduce beneficial bacteria. But remember, without the right environment, they won't stay. So think of them as support, not the solution. Because the real transformation comes from something deeper. This is where everything changes. There are specific foods that don't just feed bacteria, they help decide which bacteria grow. They reshape your gut. These are prebiotics and polyphenols. Prebiotics, found in foods like garlic, onions, oats, and bananas, feed beneficial bacteria directly, helping them grow, multiply, and produce anti-inflammatory compounds. Polyphenols, found in berries, olive oil, green tea, and dark cocoa, act like regulators. They reduce inflammation and support the growth of the right microbes. Together, they create a powerful synergy. Feed the good bacteria, suppress the harmful ones, repair the gut lining, and reduce inflammation from within. And the best part? This doesn't require complicated changes. A simple routine works. Oats with berries in the morning, vegetables with garlic or onions during the day, olive oil with meals, green tea or a small piece of dark chocolate. Simple, sustainable, effective. Now let me be clear. This is not a replacement for medical care, but it is one of the most powerful ways to support your body naturally. Because after 70, your gut becomes one of the most important control centers in your health. And when you support it correctly, everything else begins to improve. So let me ask you, have you noticed changes in your digestion, your energy, or your focus? Because what you're feeling may not just be aging. It may be your gut asking for help. If this helped you understand your body in a new way, share your experience in the comments. And if you want more clear, science-based health insights like this, make sure you subscribe, because the more you understand your body, the more control you have over your health. And that changes everything.